Have you ever watched a drone just hang in the air? They zip around, stop on a dime, and seem to just float effortlessly. But how does a little box with a few plastic fans actually pull that off? Well, today we're going to break it all down, from the basic physics that gets them flying to the massive global challenge of managing millions of them in our sky.
So let's just get right to the core question, right? How does this thing, which is really just a 1 kilogram box with some fans, seem to perform this magic trick of defying gravity? Of course, it's not magic. It's actually a beautiful, elegant mix of physics and engineering. And we're about to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it's done.
Okay, so it all starts with a concept called the airfoil principle. Now that shape should look pretty familiar. It's basically the cross-section of an airplane wing. And a drone's propeller? It's really just a wing that spins. As it slices through the air, its curved top forces air to zip over it faster than the air passing underneath. And here's the key. Faster air means lower pressure. Slower air below means higher pressure. That pressure difference literally pushes the propeller up, and that right there is lift.
All right, so lift gets the drone off the ground, but how does it move around? This is the really clever part. A drone doesn't need a separate propeller pushing it forward. It just tilts. To fly forward, the drone's little computer brain tells the back motors to spin faster and the front ones to slow down just a tiny bit. This makes the whole drone tilt forward, aiming some of that powerful upward lift in a forward direction. And just like that, it's moving. The same idea works for going backward or side to side. It's such an elegant way to get 360-degree movement. But hold on a second. If you've got 4 motors all spinning like crazy, shouldn't the drone's body just spin wildly in the opposite direction? I mean, that's a huge problem for a normal helicopter, right? Well, the quadcopter has a brilliant and surprisingly simple solution to this problem of torque. This right here is the absolute genius of the quadricopter design. You see, thanks to Newton's third law, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Spinning a rotor one way creates a force, or torque, that wants to spin the drone's body the other way. If they all spun the same direction, it would be chaos. But the solution is beautiful. You just don't spin them the same way. 2 propellers spin clockwise, and the 2 on the opposite diagonal spin counterclockwise. The 2 opposing torques cancel each other out perfectly. It's this fantastic balancing act that makes the whole thing stable.
And this design doesn't just create stability. It's the master key to controlling the drone's every move. Want to turn or yaw? The drone just intentionally messes up that perfect torque balance for a second. It'll speed up one diagonal pair and slow down the other, making it rotate. To pitch forward and back, or roll side to side, it does the same thing with the front/back or left/right pairs. Every single precise movement you see a drone make is just the result of these tiny, lightning-fast adjustments in motor speed.
You know, when you look at it, the quadrotor idea is mechanically pretty simple. Which kind of begs the question, doesn't it? If the idea is so simple, why have we only seen drones everywhere in the last decade or so? Well, it turns out the concept itself is actually over 100 years old.
I mean, just look at this history. People were experimenting with 4 rotor designs as early as 1907. Through the 20s, 30s, and even into the 50s, pioneers proved that the concept could fly. But these early machines, they were clunky, mechanically insane, ridiculously hard to control, and they just didn't have enough power. The idea was solid, but the technology to make it practical and safe, it just wasn't there yet. And this is the aha moment. The drone revolution we see today wasn't sparked by some new theory of flight. No, it was a perfect storm of other technologies all coming together at the same time. Suddenly, we had powerful but tiny microcontrollers, miniaturized MEMS sensors, that's the same gyroscopes and accelerometers inside your smartphone, plus GPS for location, and maybe most important of all, lightweight, high-density lithium polymer batteries that could finally provide enough juice.
And what a revolution it's been. We went from those early prototypes that could barely lift their own weight to this, 480 kilometers per hour. That's the official Guinness World Record for a battery-powered quadcopter, set just in April 2024. That's almost 300 miles per hour. The leap in performance is just staggering.
Okay, so we've managed to make these things incredibly powerful, incredibly fast, and super accessible and cheap. But, and this is a big but, putting millions of these flying robots into our shared airspace has, pretty unsurprisingly, opened up a whole new universe of really complicated challenges that we're now scrambling to figure out.
And the worries go way beyond just a drone crashing in someone's backyard. A major security report breaks down the risks into this pretty sobering list. You've got major safety risks, like a drone hitting an airplane. You've got security risks, everything from spying to actual terrorist attacks. And of course, there are the huge privacy and environmental concerns that come with having millions of flying cameras and buzzing motors all over the place.
And that safety risk, it is not a theoretical problem. This quote right here highlights the absolute nightmare scenario that keeps professional pilots up at night. A small, dense consumer drone getting sucked into a jet engine or smashing through a helicopter's windshield, that could be completely catastrophic. This fear is the core reason behind so many of the rules we see today.
So when you see those simple-looking rules, stay below 120 meters or about 400 feet and stay far away from airports, you now understand the incredibly serious reasons behind them. These aren't just arbitrary numbers. They are essential firewalls designed to keep small drones and big airplanes in their own separate worlds to prevent the absolute worst from happening.
But just putting up posters with rules isn't going to be enough, right? As drones get more and more common and way more capable, we are basically in a race to build the technical and regulatory systems we need to manage our increasingly crowded skies safely.
And if you look at the options on the table, it's pretty clear there's no single, easy fix. The solutions range all over the place. You've got simple, low-cost stuff like propeller guards. Then there's medium complexity ideas like mandatory registration and ID for every drone. And at the very high end, people are talking about full-blown air traffic control systems just for drones, and even remote kill switches for law enforcement. Now, one of the most powerful tools that's actually being put into place right now is something called geofencing. The easiest way to think about it is like an invisible digital fence that's built right into the drone's software. The drone knows exactly where it is thanks to GPS, and if it tries to fly towards a restricted area, like an airport or a prison, the software itself will just stop it. It's a technical solution that automatically enforces the no-fly zones.
Which really brings us all the way back around to our final big question. We've gone from the simple physics of a spinning airfoil to a technology that can shatter speed records and is forcing us to rethink our basic ideas of safety, security, and privacy. So as millions more of these incredible devices take to the air, getting smarter, faster, and more autonomous every single year, it leaves us with one really profound thought to chew on. Who or what is ultimately in control of our skies?